What's up, guys? So these are the prelims for UFC 300, and let's get to it. I also have my other video for the main card, so make sure to check that one out too. But the main fight of the prelims, it's Jiri Prochazka versus Alexander Rakic, who, as I mentioned on the Gaethje and Holloway fight, this is another fight that is, I would say this is the other really hard fight to pick on this one for me, because for one reason, because of the 2 year layoff for Rakic. See, if Rakic didn't have that 2 year layoff, I would confidently pick Rakic to win this one by decision or even a TKO. To honestly, that 2 year layoff is what makes me second guess myself, and I am still picking Rakic, but based on assuming he's at 100%, assuming he looks like he did against John Blachowicz in his last fight, which I don't know. That's a problem. Nobody knows. Even maybe Rakic knows. I'm sure his team knows if he truly is at 100%. But we're gonna go with the assumption that he is, but we don't know, right? So, Jiri Prochazka is coming from losing to Alex Pereira, who's fighting in the main card in the main event, in a fight that was very competitive up until he got knocked out. Round one was looking somewhat dominant for Alex Pereira because of the kicks that you could tell were really affecting Prochazka's win. But the last 2 minutes, over 2 minutes of that first round, Prochazka takes him down and effortlessly controls him on the ground. No grappling for Pereira. And I think that I still give the round to Pereira, but I think the way how it ended, it made it where we can say it was a competitive first round if you look at it as a whole. Round two, Prochazka once again is fighting, moving, doing his weird things of how he moves, and was landing hands on Pereira and hurting him. Pereira, for as good as he is, he's not exactly unhittable. There's a lot of guys like that where amazing offensive striking, but not exactly the same when it comes to avoiding shots or not getting hurt. I picked Prochazka to win that one by TKO round two, and it seemed it was about to go that way for a few moments, but eventually Pereira catch him with the hook, dropped him, and eventually got the finish. Rakic is coming from a fight against Blachowicz 2 years ago. Yeah, exactly 2 years ago, May 14, 2022, where he lost by an injury in the third round in a fight that round one was competitive. I think you could argue for both, or maybe slightly Blachowicz, but round two was all Rakic. Took him down and controlled him effortlessly. Like he did what he wanted to, Blachowicz, in that second round. So it was either 1-1 going to the third or 2-0 going into the third one for Rakic. And then in that third round, I don't know exactly what happens, but he, I guess, steps wrong and gets injured. And that was 2 years ago. His age doesn't concern me. He's 32 years old. He's technically in his prime. The guy has only been finished one in his career. His first fight ever over 10 years ago. Other than that, his only loss was injury and split to Volkan Ozdemir. But I think here's where the biggest difference is. I think Rakic is a way, way better striker than Prochazka. Like when you talk about fundamentals and technique, Prochazka, for what he's done, he's not exactly a very technical striker. It's what you would call a weird, unorthodox, but not even unorthodox like Edson Barboza, right? Who the stuff he does actually works. The stuff Prochazka does, it's weird. Like I would describe it as the way how he moves, and he moves his head like back and forth in a way that I don't know if it's meant to confuse the opponent or I don't know. But to me, those guys, when you do that, it doesn't work against a very technical striker like Rakic. See, Rakic doesn't need to go there and
all he needs to do is stick to the fundamentals that he has, and keep it tight. And I think he should be able to easily pick Prochazka apart. And as I said, right, if it wasn't because of that 2-year layoff, I would be very confident picking Rakic to win. But I don't know, right? See, I am picking Rakic to win, but not super confident, only because of the 2-year layoff. If we go about skill for skill, I think Rakic is the way better striker. He showed against Bakovic that he can take you down and control you, which I don't think will be the case here. I think, or it could be, honestly. If Pereira had, Glover did that. Glover's a way better grappler. Rakic, might just do that himself if he gets into a little trouble and take Prochazka down. But I am picking Rakic to win by decision. Honestly, even if it wasn't a 3-year layoff, I might pick him by TKO. But I think decision is my pick here. Not super confident though. If Rakic shows up looking slow, old, out of shape, Prochazka might just destroy him, So Rakic TKO, Rakic by decision, not super confident. Before that, we have Calvin Kattar and Aljamain Sterling. Another one of my upsets for the night. I am picking Calvin Kattar to win by decision. Sterling is coming from getting knocked out by Sean O'Malley in the second round. First round was competitive. Like if you go watch that fight, you can't say that you think O'Malley won the first round. I think Sterling did enough towards the end of the round to steal the round. You could very well argue it was 1-0 going into the second one. It doesn't matter because he got knocked out in the second one. But I think it was a counter right hook that dropped Sterling. And then a lot of people say he got stopped too fast, but I don't think so. I agree with the stoppage. This fight, this is one of those fights where the big question is, we already know the game plan on this one. Sterling is not going to go there to trade punches with Calvin Kattar, because he will get, in my opinion, he should get destroyed. He's going to go there to get the takedown ASAP. And I think Kattar and his camp are high level enough to know that that's most likely 99% going to be the game plan. Because the boxing that and the striking that Kattar has shown especially against the one with Arnold Allen, he was getting tagged and then he lost via injury as well. But the one against Chikadze is the one that you can see like just how good of a striker he is. The one with Emmett, I thought he won that fight, but he lost the split decision. He got used as a punching bag by Max Holloway though. But overall, I don't think the striking of Sterling is anywhere near what Calvin Kattar can do. And the size too. See, Calvin Kattar is 5'11", 72-inch reach. And Sterling is 5'7", 71-inch reach. When there's that much of a size difference and that much of the striking ability difference, you can really see I think we should be able to see a significant advantage on the feet for as long as this fight stays standing. I am picking Kattar to win by, I kind of want to go with decision, but I can also see a TKO. I am going to go with the TKO on this one. Calvin Kattar by a TKO round 2. I think he will be able to keep the fight standing and just completely outstrike Sterling. So I got Kattar, TKO round 2. It could also be a decision, but that's another one of my underdogs for the night. We also have Sodiq Yusuff versus Diego Lopes. Sodiq Yusuff is coming from losing to Edson Barboza, a result that I was shocked. See, it was a fight that round 1 was a 10-8 for Yusuff. Like, it was seconds away from, if that fight would have been stopped, you couldn't argue against it, Like round 1 was a 10-8 for Yusuff, destroyed Barboza, dominated him, destroyed his face. But it seemed like he gassed. and Barbosa took over. I think I gave Barbosa rounds 2, 3, 4, and 5, and only 1 to Yusuff. And I was surprised, because see, Barbosa is my all-time favorite fighter. But I'm not biased when I make my picks. I picked him to lose by knockout round 1 or 2, I think. And this is not a prime Barbosa. This is not a prime Barbosa who beat Yusuff. This is a Barbosa on the way down that Yusuff was not able to beat. He's fighting this guy in Diego Lopes who is in his prime, and he has looked amazing, even in all of his fights, even in his loss against Movsar Evloev. I think you can argue he is the one that has given Evloev his toughest fight, more than anyone else in the UFC. And I think he took the fight in less than a week's notice. And if you go watch it, he did amazing considering all the facts, considering the short notice and the level that Evloev is. Then he submitted Gavin Tucker real quick and then destroyed Pat Sabatini. Both about a minute, less than 2 minutes into the first round. I'm picking Lopes to win this one by submission. I think he will catch him with a stand-up, with something, and drop him and eventually get that submission on the ground. I don't think he'll be able to knock him out in the stand-up because Yusuff, for all that matters, he's really good. I think round 1 is Yusuff's biggest biggest window of opportunity if he's going to get it done. But again, that fight against almost 40-year-old Barbosa past his prime did not look good for him. Round 1 did, but that was it. But Diego Lopes, I think, is way more durable than Barbosa, and the grappling. Barbosa has no grappling, 0. Diego has shown equally good stand-up and grappling. Before that, the early prelims. I can't believe Jalen Turner is in the early prelims. Jalen Turner versus Renato Moicano. I got Jalen Turner in this one. Round 1 destruction. Basically, I see this one being a repetition of his fight with Bobby Green, where that referee went full on Mario Yamasaki on that one and let Bobby Green eat 6, 7 unnecessary punches. Moicano's coming from using a lot of grappling to beat Drew Dober. If Renato wants to win this fight, he has to get this one to the ground. That is his only chance of winning this one, because every second that this one's on the feet, Jalen Turner is gonna smash him, and I mean destroy him as bad as Bobby Green. That's what I'm picking. Jalen Turner, TKO round 1, complete destruction. What happens if Renato Moicano survives and it gets to the second, third round? Depending how much damage he took on that first one, could he possibly turn it around, get a sub? Even then, I don't think so. Garbrandt couldn't do it, and he's a really good grappler himself. I don't think Moicano will be able to, honestly. Jalen Turner, brutal knockout round 1. Bobby Green and Miller, Bobby Green all day. Give me Bobby Green by decision. I think he's the way better striker, faster, younger. And Miller is, as much of a legend. The only reason I don't pick TKO is because Miller has only been knocked out once in his career, or twice. And it's been years since that. And Bobby Green is not exactly a finisher. He doesn't, well, let's see. No, he is. Hard to say on this one, really. But I just don't see Jim Miller getting finished. If he does, he'll be in the later rounds. But I am picking Bobby Green by decision. Better striking, keeps it standing, gets the decision. And then Figueiredo versus Garbrandt. Give me Figueiredo by TKO round 2. Garbrandt, I think he's not the same guy he was 5-6 years ago. I think those fights against TJ really took his spirit, or whatever people say it. I'm running out of time here, guys. But Figueiredo, TKO round 2. I don't think Garbrandt has the power or the striking to beat him, or the grappling. Rakic by decision. Calvin Kattar by decision. Diego Lopes by submission. Turner, TKO round 1. Bobby Green by decision. And Figueiredo, TKO round 2.